Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
The U.S. Representative Dale Strong, a Republican out of Monrovia, has proposed the Deport Illegal Voters Act, which seeks to expedite the deportation of non-citizens convicted of voting illegally by classifying such acts as aggravated felonies under the Immigration and Nationality Act. Now, again, we could say that this is an immigration bill, which is probably one of the reasons why it probably goes nowhere. But it also says stop voting illegally, and Democrats hate that. So it's like immigration and illegal voting. These are two things Democrats do not want to stop. So good luck unless there's some sort of massive sea change in this country on those two matters. Strong emphasized the importance of protecting election integrity by ensuring that only American citizens participate in elections, which seems like a no-brainer. And this comes as heightened attention in Alabama, where Secretary of State Wes Allen was blocked from removing non-citizens from the ballot.
Number 6.
Former President Barack Obama has endorsed Shamari Figures in Alabama's 2nd Congressional District, which should come as really no surprise because Shamari Figures worked for Barack Obama and for Joe Biden. I don't know if I want to highlight those things if I'm Shamari Figures and I'm running here in the 2nd Congressional District. But Obama suggested he supports Figures over his commitment to improving economic and healthcare outcomes. Worst job report in decades on Friday. Just throwing that out there since we're so worried about economic outcomes and, might want to think about that for a second. Obama noted Figures' experience in his administration where he contributed to policies aimed at bettering American lives. How's that going? People think things are good now? Is that where we're at? Okay, just checking. He was also Deputy Chief of Staff to Merrick Garland. The guy trying to put the president in jail? Yeah, that guy? They want to win this thing, right? Okay, just asking.
Number 5.
United States Senator Katie Britt, a Republican out of Montgomery, criticized the Kamala Harris campaign for its derogatory remarks towards Trump supporters, highlighting that women who back Trump are, quote, strong and patriotic Americans, end quote. They are committed to preserving the American dream for future generations. She called out comments by Harris and her allies, including Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, I think, is the first candidate, surrogate, that I've ever seen someone come out and be like, please stop helping me. Like, stop. Like, please, just sit down and shut up. Stop it. But she called out Mark Cuban, Katie Britt did, as emblematic of how Democrat elites demean those with differing views. Suggests they are out of touch with the everyday struggle of the American family. Britt expressed confidence that these attacks would ultimately backfire on Democrats as Americans are tired of being looked down on by the elite. And I think that's a good message. I think that's true, and everything she said is correct.
Number 4.
Are you ready to be surprised? I know I was surprised when I saw this. So surprised that I made a Yellowhammer Now video that will be out later today about this. A survey by the Marshall Project found that a majority of inmates in Alabama, including those ineligible to vote, support former President Donald Trump for president. Inmates. 53%. This could be a bigger poll than the Iowa poll. I'm being completely serious with you. Look at the demographics of prison. 30% African American, 30% white, 20% Hispanic, 10% some conglomeration of all those things. And Donald Trump's leading. That might be a bigger deal than the Iowa poll. Just throwing that out there. Harris does better than Biden did, but Trump beats them both. Maybe we should let prisoners vote. No, we shouldn't. No, bad idea.
Number 3.
Alabama officials believe a Trump presidency would reinstate the move of Space Command headquarters to Huntsville, reversing President Joe Biden's decision to keep it in Colorado. Why did Joe Biden do that? Well, because he doesn't like Alabama. I mean, this was politically motivated. We all know that. How do we know that? Because the media told us, look what Tommy Tuberville did. It's like, what do you mean, look what he did? You said this wasn't political. And they're like, it's not. But look what Tommy Tuberville did. It's like, I know, but if they're doing it because of that, isn't that political? No, shut up. Tommy Tuberville did this. It's like, yeah, I know. That's political. No, nobody would make a political move like that. It's because of Tom. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Oddly enough, Terry Sewell a congresswoman from the 7th district. She said, "Oh, Vice President Harris might move it back to Alabama as well." It's like, come on, have a little respect for yourself and us. Don't give us this nonsense. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that.
Number 2.
In October, the U.S. economy added only 12,000 jobs, significantly below expectations of 100,000. But the unemployment rate remained steady at 4.1%. Despite downward revisions for job growth in August and September that reduced previously reported totals by 112,000. Again, by the way, you know the 12,000 jobs they created? I guarantee you, mark these words. Down the line, we're going to hear that it was actually jobs lost in the last month, in the last report before the election. And the reason that you're going to have the books cooked in order to, so they can say, well, we didn't lose any jobs. They're blaming the hurricane. They're blaming all sorts of stuff. But really, here's what happened. Private sector jobs lost big time. Native-born Americans lost jobs. Government employees, new jobs for them. The excuse making is already out there. These are really bad reports, really bad job numbers.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
A new Des Moines Register Mediacom Iowa poll has the media and their Democrats ecstatic because it shows Vice President Kamala Harris leading Donald Trump in Iowa 47-44, marking a major shift from the 2020 election. Now, Ann J. Selzer is a very respected pollster. You know how I know that? Because I think her name is actually J. Ann Selzer, and you don't know that. And the simple fact of the matter is, nobody has ever heard of this person before, yet we're all telling everyone that she's the greatest person that ever lived. There's a tell there as well. Now, this unlikely swing, done likely to generate the headlines of Harris's inevitability and the surprise vote that's happening in Iowa, and the big shift is being done to suppress votes. That's all it is. This is a voter suppression poll. That is what it's about. Say Iowa is moving towards Kamala Harris, and it doesn't matter. Everywhere else moves as well. If Kamala Harris wins Iowa by 3, she's going to win a landslide election. That's just a reality. And that's what they're trying to tell you. Harris's gains among women, particularly senior and independent women, make absolutely no sense. Old men go from being Republican voters at like 35 plus points to +3. Old white men. You know, I don't know a lot of old white men. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. But I'll tell you what I also don't know. An old white man that's gone from Donald Trump to Kamala Harris. I don't know a single one. I could be wrong. Maybe they're out there. But I don't see that. I don't see that anywhere. Maybe the Iowa farmer's like, we need more illegal immigrants. Maybe that's what they're going for. I have no answer to that. But the 2020 exit polls done by the same person show completely different things. Trump maintains his base among men, evangelicals, and rural voters. Harris's appeal to suburban areas such as college-educated voters and now older people, apparently, are leading to her surge here. I think this is a voter suppression poll. I think that's what the actual goal in all of this is. I think that's pretty clear. And after the election, this is going to be the poll that people look at and say the media tried to cook the books. That's what's going to happen. This will be what they'll look to, because you'll get a bunch of you'll get montages of people talking about how important this J. Ann Selzer poll is, because everyone knows when you're thinking about politics in America, J. Ann Selzer is the only name you need to know. How do I know that? Because you've never heard her name until this happened. Okay? Just remember that. J. Ann Selzer, or Ann J. Selzer, which you don't know because you've never heard the name before. This is an individual who must be trusted and believed at all times. We should just call off the election and give it to give it to Kamala Harris, because it's over. That's what they want you to believe. It's not the truth. This is voter suppression. This is voter suppression. There's no other way to put it. That's what's happening here. Now, if you'd like to weigh in here and let me know what you think is happening here and why they're doing stuff like that, there are a couple very different ways that you can do that to let us know how you're feeling about things. You can pick up the phone right now, 866-494-WVNN, 866-494-9866. You can also email me, Dale@WVNN.com. Jump in there and get that in. That's the downtownrescuemission.org email inbox.
You've got mail.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about my friends at 2 Men in a Truck. You got to make a move. Maybe you're going to Iowa. 2 Men in a Truck can help you out today. They are great. They give you everything you need. They have the grandma rule. Treat everyone the way you'd want your grandma to be treated. Big, small, near, far, 2 Men in a Truck. They're on top of it for you. You can rely on them just like you can rely on the 7 things you should be talking about today every single day. You can rely on 2 Men in a Truck. Learn more about them today at 2meninaTruckHuntsville.com. That's 2meninaTruckHuntsville.com. Check them out today. When you do, you better tell them Dale Jackson sent you.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 things you should be talking about today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.